Am I the only one that didn't know just how much power rare earths hold in global politics? These unassuming minerals, often overlooked in everyday conversation, are actually at the heart of a global power struggle that's shaping the future of technology, defense, and even international alliances. It's almost wild to think that the fate of entire industries, and maybe even the balance of power between nations, can hinge on a handful of obscure elements buried deep in the earth. For decades, rare earths were the unsung heroes of the modern world, quietly enabling the gadgets and machines that define our daily lives. But now, as the world becomes more interconnected and technology more advanced, these minerals have stepped into the spotlight, revealing just how much influence they wield over the gears of progress and the ambitions of superpowers. Right now, Australia, the U.S. and China are suddenly at the center of a minerals tug-of-war. It's not just about mining or trade. It's about who gets to call the shots in the next era of global innovation. These three countries are locked in a high-stakes contest, each maneuvering to secure their own future and, in the process, potentially reshape the world order. The stakes couldn't be higher. Whoever controls the flow of rare earths will have a decisive edge in everything from economic growth to military might. This isn't just a battle for resources, it's a contest for influence, security, and the ability to shape the technologies that will define the 21st century. Here's what's really going on. Rare earths might sound boring, but they're the secret sauce behind everything. From your phone and electric car to fighter jets and computer chips. Without them, the screens we swipe, the cars we drive, and the defense systems that keep countries safe would all grind to a halt. These minerals are the backbone of modern life, quietly powering the devices and technologies we rely on every single day. Imagine a world where your smartphone can't function, where renewable energy projects stall, and where advanced medical equipment is suddenly in short supply, all because of a shortage of these critical elements. That's the kind of scenario governments are desperate to avoid. Think about it. The magnets in your headphones, the batteries in electric vehicles, the guidance systems in missiles, and the processors in your laptop all depend on rare earths. They're not just important, they're irreplaceable. And as the world races toward greener energy and smarter tech, demand for these minerals is only skyrocketing. Every new innovation, from wind turbines to next-gen robotics, increases our reliance on these elements. The push for electric vehicles alone is expected to double or even triple the need for certain rare earths in the coming decade. It's a supply chain crunch waiting to happen, and everyone from tech giants to automakers is scrambling to secure their share. And right now, nearly all of it's controlled by China. They mine 70% and process almost 90%. That means if China decides to tighten the tap, the rest of the world could be left scrambling. This isn't just a hypothetical threat, it's a real lever of power that China has used before. And it's one that keeps policymakers in Washington and Canberra up at night. China's dominance isn't just about having the minerals in the ground, it's about having the infrastructure, the expertise, and the political will to control every step from extraction to export. This gives Beijing enormous leverage, not just over supply chains, but over the strategic decisions of rival nations. In fact, back in 2010, China restricted rare earth exports to Japan during a diplomatic dispute, sending shockwaves through global markets. That move exposed just how vulnerable other countries are when it comes to these critical resources. Since then, governments and industries have been searching for ways to break free from China's near monopoly. The incident was a wake-up call, prompting urgent meetings in boardrooms and government offices around the world. Suddenly, rare earths weren't just a technical issue. They were a matter of national security and a potential flashpoint in international relations. The fallout from that embargo rippled across industries. Japanese manufacturers scrambled to find alternative suppliers, prices soared, and companies were forced to redesign products to use less of the restricted elements. The world realized just how interconnected and fragile the rare earth supply chain had become. It was a lesson that stuck, and it's one that continues to shape policy decisions to this day. So Trump just signed an $8.5 billion deal with Australia. This isn't just a business transaction, it's a strategic play, a bold move to diversify supply chains and reduce America's dependence on a single source. The deal is being hailed as a game changer, with both countries pledging to ramp up cooperation and investment in rare earth mining and processing. It's a signal to the world that the U.S. is serious about taking control of its technological destiny, and that it's willing to invest big to make it happen. It's all about ramping up new mines, building high-tech refineries, and making sure the U.S. isn't left scrambling if China cuts off supply. Australia, with its vast mineral reserves and stable political climate, is the perfect partner for this ambitious project. The plan is to create a reliable, secure supply chain that can withstand global shocks and geopolitical tensions. By working together, the U.S. and Australia hope to set a new standard for transparency, environmental responsibility, and technological innovation in the rare earth sector. The partnership goes beyond just digging up rocks. It's about investing in cutting-edge technology, training a new generation of engineers, and building infrastructure that can process and refine rare earths to the highest standards. Both countries are betting big on innovation, hoping to leapfrog current limitations and set new benchmarks for the industry. There's talk of joint research centers, scholarships for students in mining and material science, and even new international standards for ethical sourcing and environmental protection. There's even talk of a price floor and a strategic reserve, just to keep things stable. By setting a minimum price and stockpiling reserves, the U.S. and Australia hope to shield their industries from market volatility and potential supply shocks. It's a move straight out of the playbook for oil and other critical commodities, signaling just how serious they are about securing these resources. The idea is to create a buffer against sudden disruptions, ensuring that manufacturers and defense contractors always have access to the materials they need, no matter what happens on the global stage. This kind of strategic planning isn't new, but it's rarely been applied to minerals with such intensity. The hope is that by taking proactive steps now, the U.S. and Australia can avoid the kind of panic and price spikes that have plagued the market in the past. It's a long-term play, designed to give both countries a measure of control in an increasingly unpredictable world. Supporters say this move is about securing America's tech and defense future. They argue that without a steady supply of rare earths, the U.S. risks falling behind in everything from clean energy to national security. For them, this deal is about more than economics. It's about safeguarding the country's technological edge and strategic independence. The Pentagon, for example, has warned that a shortage of rare earths could cripple the production of advanced weapon systems, satellites, and communications gear. In a world where technological superiority is often the deciding factor in global conflicts, that's a risk the U.S. simply can't afford to take. Critics, they call it more politics than game changer, since breaking China's grip isn't easy or fast. They point out that building new mines and refineries takes years, not months, and that China's dominance is built on decades of investment and expertise. Some worry that the deal could spark a new round of trade tensions, or even an all-out minerals arms race. There are also concerns about whether the U.S. and Australia can match China's efficiency and scale, or whether they'll end up paying more for the same materials. Environmentalists also raise concerns about the impact of expanded mining, while economists warn that government intervention could distort markets. The debate is fierce, with passionate arguments on all sides about what's best for the planet, the economy, and national security. Some argue that the rush to secure rare earths could lead to environmental degradation, especially in sensitive areas of Australia's outback. Others worry that subsidies and price controls could create inefficiencies, or even spark trade disputes with other countries. Indigenous communities in Australia are also weighing in, demanding a seat at the table, and a say in how mining projects affect their land and way of life. Their voices are adding another layer of complexity to an already tangled debate, reminding everyone that the quest for resources can't come at the expense of people or the planet. As the world watches, the challenge will be to balance economic ambition with social responsibility and environmental stewardship. But with the U.S. and Australia both pouring in serious cash, rare earth companies are celebrating and markets are reacting. Stock prices for mining and tech firms have surged, and investors are betting that this new alliance could reshape the global landscape for years to come. The excitement isn't just about profits. It's about the possibility of a new era, where supply chains are more resilient, and where the balance of power in the tech world starts to shift away from Beijing. Now, as Trump heads into his meeting with Xi, this deal hangs over the table. It's a clear signal to China that the U.S. is serious about challenging its dominance, and it adds a whole new layer of complexity to already tense negotiations between the world's two biggest economies. The rare earth deal isn't just a bargaining chip, it's a statement of intent, a declaration that the U.S. is ready to compete on a new front, and that it's willing to build new alliances to do it. Will it shift the balance, or just raise the stakes? The world is watching closely to see if this bold move will spark real change or simply escalate the rivalry between East and West. The outcome could determine not just who controls rare earths, but who leads the next wave of technological innovation. As the two leaders sit down to talk, every word, every gesture, and every headline will be scrutinized for clues about the future of this high-stakes contest. One thing's for sure, the race for rare earths is heating up, and the whole world's watching. As nations scramble to secure their future, these once obscure minerals have become the hottest ticket in global politics. The next chapter in this saga is just beginning, and its impact will be felt in every corner of the globe. Whether it leads to greater cooperation, sharper competition, or something entirely unexpected, the story of rare earths is now a story about the future of power itself.